Before we get on to the subject of how to read tarot cards, I thought it'd be a good idea to have a look at a few websites that I think are really good for learning and understanding about the tarot. I'll talk about my websites first because they're a good resource. Supertarot.co.uk I've had for, God, nearly 10 years now, I think. And the reason I bought it and started it goes back to when I first was reading tarot cards and I discovered the opening of the key spread, and I was really excited because it answered loads and loads of questions about the tarot and how to read it, and it set me on my really long journey of understanding new ways to understand tarot and bring extra depth to readings. And when I first went on the internet, I thought, great, I can find out about this deck, this spread rather, and how it works. And there was nothing there. And so I thought, well, maybe I have to write about it instead. And that's how Super Tarot started. It went through lots of reincarnations, and it still does from time to time, so I change things around. So Super Tarot was set up to explore and help me understand this system as well. It was also basically to get a publisher, because I thought, well, no one's written about it, why don't I do it? And that's eventually what happened with the opening of the key spread. Tarot and the Magus was my first book, and also recently the collaboration with Catherine Chapman. It's all about her story of how she goes from a Celtic crossbred to reading cards using these techniques, and help her give an insight into who is going to be the man in her life. Is it going to be her ex, or is it going to be someone new? And it's so on Super Tarot. We have there's some tarot spreads. There's the opening of the key system. There's the tarot lessons. There's astrology as well, which is very important, because one of the best ways to understand the tarot cards is by using astrology. We also talk about positional spreads like the key and how they work, elemental dignities, card counting, how the Golden Dawn developed their system of the opening of the key spread. Some of the influences on that from early writers in the 19th century on the tarot as well. And what else have I got? There must be something else. Yeah, some things about the Thoth Tarot deck. And it's a huge site, and there was so much on there that I really felt I needed to have a separate website. And not so long ago, when I was on GoDaddy looking at websites for someone else, I typed in tarot, see what came up. And there was newtarot.com, $9.99. Wow. And I thought I'll have that. So, and on newtarot.com, it's my opportunity to explore deeper, more original ways of looking at the tarot cards. I have crystals on there, magic, esoteric kind of things, just to sort of expand the envelope, if you like. So Super Tarot there's the basics. You've got the tarot spreads, the meanings, all those kind of things. And New Tarot, it gives me the freedom to sort of experiment and find different ways of looking at tarot that aren't obvious, and there's much more interesting. So that's newtarot.com. I mean, on one of the things there, we have about 5 essays and a sequence of essays about the tarot card, and it's kind of seen a completely different way to how people normally do it. And we're using the tarot card to change perception of how we see the world and how we interact with it, and spiritual and all sort of things like this. And on New Tarot too, I also talk about Pandit Maharaj, who is my spiritual teacher for 25 years. He was a silent Sufi. He never said very much for most of that time. But my time with him was many profound spiritual experiences. He got me to read palms and tarot cards and all these kind of things. So I had to learn the system, and he kind of gave me that blessing to sort of develop these things as well. So he's a huge part of my life, Pandit Maharaj. He passed away a couple of years ago now, and he still helps me. I see more of him now, and it's a really cool kind of thing. So there's 2 other websites that I think are really good to develop your knowledge, and they're both friends of mine, and they're a lot to do with the second book in particular. First off is taroteon.com, TAROTEON.com, run by Douglas Gibb. Doug contacted me some years ago. He had some spiritual experiences, and then he found the Tarot and the Magus, and he contacted me. Doug's a really interesting guy. He lives up in Scotland now, and he has a philosophy degree in hermeneutics, and he's very much the meaning of the cards and how they interact. And I encouraged him about a year ago, I think, to really get on and get a website up. And I said, well, use a WordPress blog. And he didn't know anything about websites or WordPress or all these kind of things. And he's created a fantastic website with lots of new and innovative, interesting ideas on reading the tarot cards and other interests as well. Finally, and not least by any means, is Catherine Chapman's website, tarotelements.com. Catherine is the co-author of the Beyond the Celtic Cross book that we wrote together, and when she contacted me, she didn't know much about tarot, really. Enthusiastic, but a little bit naive. I don't think she'll mind me saying this. And because the Tarot Beyond the Celtic Cross documents her journey through naivety with the tarot and not understanding things into getting more and more sophisticated in her understanding and use of knowledge of the tarot, to the point where she was having visions and having spiritual experiences and all kinds of things, and it was fascinating to watch and see. And about March or April last year, I said, look, Beyond the Celtic Cross is coming out in November 2009. You're going to need a website up there. People want to know about you and what's going on and how you do things, everything else. And she said, I don't know anything about websites. I don't know anything about these things. I said, well, I think it's a good thing. I think the best thing to do, again, is like Doug. I said, get a WordPress blog and go that way around. And she said, I've got nothing to write. And I said, well, don't worry about it. No one knows at the moment. They don't know the book's coming out. She's got a good 6 months. And so she started off. And actually, she and Doug, they work very well together. Completely different blogs. But they've learned from each other and developed their ideas. And now they've got, I think, the two best tarot blogs. Puts my tarot blog on Super Tarot to shame, really. I really must do more with it. And it's those two, Catherine, she first started off and she's a little bit shy, and she said, oh, what do you think about this? And I said, yeah, put it up, After about the third time of asking me, and I said, yeah, put it up. She stopped asking me, just got on with it. And she's a fascinating range of articles on the tarot. And they've also worked very hard in understanding elemental dignities. So between them, they have a very good section on reading elemental dignities on the tarot. So, if you want to learn tarot, these are the full websites: supertarot.co.uk, tarotelements.com, tarotian.com, and newtarot.com. Happy hunting!